Good morning. It's actually morning in a technical sense.
I have a little tea sauce on.
I'm going to do that too later. Alright, so we got like the world's worst passive item. We did get a good boss weapon in the Morning Star. And we got a good regular infinite ammo weapon in the robot's right arm. Right arm? Left arm. What is it? Right hand. The robot's right hand. I'm not great at using the Morning Star, but I swear to you I will use it on these early bosses. I swear, I promise. At least to some degree. I might not use it for every percentage point of the boss. But I found the easiest way to use it on bosses is to, wow, I didn't realize this guy lasted for a full clip. Right-handy shots. Yeah. Is to stop pointing it towards the guy and just let it be. It's so weird when I'm playing as the robot, or when I'm playing with the robot's right hand. I still assume that I can't pick up hearts, even though I'm playing not. Oh my god! Oh my god! I didn't see that guy at all. I gotta get my eyes trained. This room is crazy packed. Oh fuck. Come on. What the fuck? And that guy's just long gone, right? He destroyed the water. The other water was like 4 rooms back. This might be a cursed run. This is my 666th video going up on YouTube. Well, I mean, no matter what. As long as YouTube doesn't shut down, I'm still going to do that. It's weird that that continues to shoot, even when there's nothing to tap, to touch with it. Wow, that is so much damage. Honestly, it might be better. It might not be, in terms of ammo, better, but in terms of DPS, better to let that drop and then flap it back up. Because I think the big damage you do is when that beam starts shooting. You know, rough start. If I was playing as the robot and I took 2 hits in one room, it would pretty much be a game over for the robot. Like, it would be such an uphill battle after that. We can afford a 3rd key. I'm so glad we got the key bullet gun. Alright, let's try to do this. Ooh. Don't get hit. Use blinks if you got it. I got hit by this guy last time. I don't want to repeat that bullshit. Oh, fuck. God, he's so fucking shitty with those turnarounds. This is like the worst boss to have this gun on. He's so mobile. He's so mobile and so small. Just cut it out, chamber gun. Just freaking cut it out. Alright, it won't give us the second form until we get to the next stage, I guess. I wonder if this is better damage. I don't really know. Well, Weird Egg is... its greatest potential is a bunch of money. So there's some guys building, or working on building an apartment building next door. It looks like an apartment building. It might be a gigantic house. They're like right outside of our downstairs bathroom. And, not right outside of it, pretty close. And, that sound is exactly the sound that the hammers make. That clunk, 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 clunk. Either the hammers or the, nail guns, I think. But the sound of this gun landing its shots on the wall is very, very familiar. Alright, we're not going in there. So we're going to open the brown, then the blue if a key drops out. Poison protection will be good on the next floor. We're going to just... Excuse me? There's no fireplace room. Oh wait, fireplace room is here. Okay. So, where's our water? Our water was towards the beginning. Wow, it was really, really surprising. Okay, it's right here. Not too far. Here's some interesting news that I wanted to bring up, but I feel a little conflicted, even though I really shouldn't. There are protests going on in Hong Kong right now. The mainland police are deciding that Hong Kong citizens do not get to decide for themselves where they are, whether or not they're extradited to mainland China to get. China is this extreme, like, bizarre police state. It is like the definition of 1984ism. It's exactly what people should be scared about when they think of totalitarian states. It's kind of learned. It's taken its lessons from Stalin's USSR and other dictatorships, and it's taken all the bad lessons from those. It hasn't looked at those and said, "Huh, this is what we should avoid." It's looked at those and said, "Huh, those guys sure did have a lot of power and a lot of, like," that was so dumb. I meant to go at an angle. A lot of mental and social control. Let's do that. Let's have that same amount of control. And right now they are, tear gassing peaceful protesters, and there's a lot of people who, I think, from a kind of realistic point of view, know that opposing that is permanently detrimental to their careers. So they're getting online, they're getting in front of it early and saying, like, hey, I side with the police. There's people like that in the United States whenever there's a protest. Huh? Oh yeah, I cut them all off. I did pull a little sneaky. Whoa! I cannot believe I didn't get hit there. I've been playing really badly, so welcome to that. How are you, Kyle? Yeah, these protests and the really, really despicable, selfish actions of people who are just like, I stand with the Hong Kong police. These individuals that they're pepper spraying, they're at fault for, demanding a fair government. It's shitty. It's really, really shitty, and I think that people tend to side with the police out of a fear of looking rebellious or whatever, and that happens in the U.S. when there were the Occupy Wall Street protests and stuff like that. People were like, these bums. Oh my god! Ow, my itchy leg. I'd really like the bracket key, but money's a little tight right now. These bums are bringing shame to their country by standing up for themselves or whatever. Like, protests are a fundamental part of democracy. Like, they are fundamental. They are especially peaceful, nonviolent protests, are a cornerstone for social change. These are the same people who would have called Martin Luther King and his followers thugs. Like, they would have said that sit-ins were violent acts. Like, it's so weird how people who side with the authoritarian governments always seem to take the nonviolent actions of peaceful protesters and frame them as violence. Like, yeah, they think that, well, this oppressiveness hasn't influenced me in a negative way, so these people are obviously just trying to destroy what we have. It's a selfishness. Like, it's an extreme selfishness that I think a lot of people really feel. People who aren't affected by injustice tend to think that people who try to do anything about, God, those were some very lucky, very bad dodges there. People who try to do anything about it are actually trying to destabilize a working system. That's what you get. I mean, that's how people feel about politics in general. If your party is in power, if they're doing awful things that hurt a lot of people, but they don't hurt you yet, like, you tend to think that the people that are against it are actually trying to take away your freedoms and your rights. It's I know I speak out against gun ownership a lot here, but like, gun ownership is exactly the kind of like self-centered, me-driven thing that I think people don't realize is problematic until it enters into their lives. Like, until it's your kids being shot, or until it's like, you know, your life being flipped on its head. I think a lot of people tend to believe that gun ownership is an inalienable right, something that they need to have. I don't know. I hate to hark on the same subject, but like, a friend of mine recently lost a friend to gun violence. This friend of mine has been a long time supporter of gun ownership, and he recently lost a close friend to gun violence, and he's suddenly now seeing that the right for individuals to own guns. This was like a dumb altercation between two people that one person, you know, it started with a fist fight, and then once the person that began the fist fight already knocked down the other person, he then pulled out a gun and shot the guy. And it's fucked up. Like, and you know, there was drinking involved, there was rash and imprecise decision making because of alcohol, but even more than that, it was just the fact that this guy had access to a murder weapon that took 1 second to end somebody's life. Yeah, Nancy Reagan did the same thing with Ronald Reagan. She like supported. What's up, baby? What's up? That's great. That's very good. Okay, baby. Don't move, you stupid idiot boss. Just stay still. You're not a boss. No, you're not. How many employees do you have? No, you don't. Those aren't employees. You don't make any money off of them. Hi, Ninja. How you doing? Saying hi to SSD Ninja. What's up, Jackie? Oh. Okay. 102. Oh my god, that's enough for this bracket key. No, not gonna do it. Oh yeah, like, yes, depression and gun ownership is a fucking ugly combination too. Ooh, the ballot. There's so many situations where, like the El Paso shooter, the police responded in a minute, and in that time, in 1 minute, and in that time, 9 people were killed. They had an incredible, incredible response rate. Probably one of the best in a situation like that in the history of situations like that. But in under 1 minute, 9 people were killed. There's no other technology on the fucking planet, besides, I don't know, fucking death rays or something, that can take out 9 people in a minute, that an individual can have access to. It's fucking insane that people... Wow, I got all of my ammo back just by having this equipped. There's a recovery time, there's a response time. Guns are just meant to be... Pull the trigger, then someone's life is over. Like, that's the point of guns. They're meant to be immediate, thoughtless killing machines. Let's not bring up people's names in this, Jackie, right now. It's not just about radical young men. It's about even people who think that they're the safest, most responsible people. I've seen people flare into anger and get into fistfights that never would have done it otherwise because of things that they've had to drink or eat. And they've made rash decisions. They've gotten into fights that could have turned into something much worse. Ooh, this is the first time I made it to the Old King in like 4 or 5 runs. Or made it to the Abbey at least. And the fact is, people owning a gun are more likely to turn those situations into much worse situations than people who don't. It takes a while to think about whether you should use a knife, whether the like slow action of that, oh my god, is going to be worth it. You have time to reconsider. You just don't fucking have time to reconsider once the trigger's pulled on a gun. Hurting someone with a vehicle or a knife or just like endless other options. There are ways to do violence to people, but like gun ownership is a way to immediately and without hesitation do violence. And it's just... It's not just about, like, see, that's the argument that a lot of people make that's pretty easy to refute. If you say that bad people own guns, and therefore gun ownership should be illegal, people are like, well, you know, we just need to make sure that the right people own guns. There's not a right person. The right person is someone that is under the scrutiny of the military or something like that. And like, and I'm not going to get into the like, oh, well, only the, you know, if you think the police or the military are a problem, and you think they're the only ones that should have guns and you're part of the problem. No, yes, they are the only ones that should have guns. The ones that have to go through mandatory, strict training, that have eyes on them at all times, should be the people that have... I know we have a problem with the police right now, but like those are the only people that should have access to murder buttons. Like... And people that carry guns, people that own and carry guns, or just own them, are likely to make mistakes. People. Good people, bad people. Like, those mistakes are likely to be made. It doesn't take much for something to turn into a fatality when a gun is involved. And it doesn't even take the owner, no matter how safe you are. Like, a lot of people are like, you know, if you're a safe gun owner, there's no chance that you'll make a mistake. Kids are fucking super geniuses when it comes to getting into things that they shouldn't be able to get into. I've known so many kids to get into liquor cabinets, get into supplies, like cleaning supplies and poisons and things like that people have in their house. They will find a way into your gun safe, into your ammunition, and have access to your gun, no matter how genius you think and fail-safe your security system at keeping that away from them is. It won't stop them.
Well, not only that, if you're having someone break into your house and you need to get your gun in a second, having it in the safe isn't going to be accessible enough that you need to have it locked up otherwise.
I think that's another argumentative fallacy. People will say that I'll have it accessible in a way that I can get to quickly enough. If I have enough time to get to the safe, I'd rather have it. But I think the safety issue, the individual lives that could be lost. Also, you adding another gun to the situation is more likely problematic. You are not in a situation where you know how to de-escalate, and you having another fucking gun means more likely that multiple people are going to get shot. Like, you don't think a kid can crack a gun safe until they see over your shoulder you putting the combination in. I'm not saying that the kid will unlock the safe with their bare hands or with a device or whatever. I think a kid will crack a gun safe through the same way that most hackers use social elements to figure out people's passwords and stuff. They'll phish by learning the password, by learning your other passwords and things like that. It doesn't take a kid figuring out the code out of thin air to figure out how to get into this thing. If you use a similar code for many things, if they watch you do it once, there's a million cases of people learning through the sloppiness of this momentary sloppiness of, like, I know that I've accidentally typed my password into the wrong window on my computer, and if someone was over my shoulder, they'd have access to my email. Like, there are so many more cases of it being likely that you're going to do the wrong thing one time, and you're going to lead to a situation where, oh my god, why can't I dodge today? Where you're going to make a slight mistake that's going to end up in a situation where how many fucking kids have been hurt by guns owned by responsible gun owners? How many does it have to be until people can see that it's not the fucking ownership, it's not the practice, it's the ownership of the gun that's the... I'd say statistics say otherwise. I'd say that people always feel that way, but that's not the case. There are kids lost in the hands of responsible gun owners all of the time, but no one wants to admit that because it feels like, well, that person was irresponsible. Human beings are fundamentally flawed when it comes to shit like this, but we don't like to accept it. I disagree with you. I think having the gun in your house is inviting calamity. I think it's a big, wide open invitation for things to have the potential to go wrong that couldn't go wrong without it there. Come on, freaking fire. And I think that everyone makes excuses for guns because people just fucking like guns. Come on, fire! Stupid satellite. And there are other ways. There are other ways. I think it's gonna take something like something ridiculous like, you know, 10,000 kids a day killed by guns to people to start finally say that, like, it's time to stop just letting individuals own guns. I just think that in the United States there's such a gun mania. This is my opinion. I know that you're very, very free to have your own opinion. I think that gun ownership is a fundamental problem in this country. It's fundamental. I think statistics point out that there are just too many gun-based accidents in this country for me to think that it's always the responsibility of the individual that's at fault. Do I want the 6-chamber more than I want? Yeah, I guess I do want it more than I want that. It's an almost religious argument in the United States. Gun owners feel that their personal safety is worth the risk to everyone else. And I'm sorry to say this, like I that's something I fundamentally disagree with. I think that having something that can cause that much destruction is unfair to the rest of the population. Just imagine if it was grenades. That's fine. I mean, you're gonna justify it how you're gonna justify it. Like I don't. This is an argument that can't be had really, because people, they feel it in their core. They feel it in themselves. And there's no way to convince people otherwise. But I think that a weapon that can cause an end of life that quickly is a dangerous and irresponsible thing, and that's my opinion on it. I just had a very close friend lose someone because, you know, a person carrying a gun got angry at another person. They both were angry at each other. They got into a fist fight, which would have ended with a fist fight, and then one person is now dead. Like, and you know, this person's not taking it too well. Once the thing happened to them, their whole opinion about gun ownership is slowly changing. But it sucks that everyone needs to see it. They can't learn it through abstract thought. They have to see it firsthand, and like, that sucks. It sucks that it takes loss of life for people to realize that there's a potentially better way, and everyone feels that way. It doesn't apply to me. Regardless of statistics, I'm an exception to this case. Like, individuals are not exceptional. The rules apply to all. Statistics are statistics because they exist regardless of individualism. It's just, people don't like to think that. They think there's always, you know, a distinction, a corollary, a cause and effect that means that somebody else did something wrong that they just wouldn't do. No, I'm not going to make the assumption that they won't hurt me. I'm going to make the assumption that me having a gun is going to guarantee that someone gets definitely hurt. Me having a gun means that it might be me that hurts them. It might be them seeing a gun that makes them pull their trigger so much faster than they would under other circumstances. I really believe that, like, if I brought a gun into a situation where there were already guns, it would then guarantee a person got shot. Yeah, and I'm assuming they have one too because of the gun laws that we currently have. Like, I'm not assuming that they have one because they're bad people. I'm assuming that they have one because it's really easy to have a gun. Like, if I was living in a country where it was extremely difficult to have guns, I would not be assuming that necessarily. And like, the number of times, like, I've heard shots fired is ridiculously high versus the number of times I've heard of people breaking in my neighborhood. People are shooting off guns all the fucking time because they have easy access to guns. They're not shooting off guns because they're robbing people. They're shooting off guns because guns are in their possession. Like, yes, there are always examples of hand-to-hand violence leading to people's death. There are always examples, and people pick on those like light bulbs as to why guns are better. But there are more examples every fucking day of people dying. There are 4 deaths a minute or something ridiculous like that in the US to gun violence. There is some statistic that everybody will overlook about how many, if you put the statistics side by side of deaths from non-gun gun-related violence to deaths by gun-related violence, it is like 400% or more higher for gun violence in the United States. I'm not thinking of a specific one because I don't have a specific one right now. This is secondhand research, but like, and this is me admitting to not having it off the top of my head right now because I know. I know that I don't have the exact research right now with me. However, everything that I've seen, whether I know the exact number or not, is every number that I've seen is gravely and very obviously stating that gun ownership is leading in the United States to the world's highest. Oh my god, fuck, I got stuck on the door. The world's highest rate of gun violence, the world's greatest number of deaths to gun, and you will always hear people saying, you know, if it was responsible owners, I'll be different. This is the hands of idiots and assholes. It's bad guys that are causing this, etc., etc. It's the access to guns that is leading to gun violence, and I think that that's like so fundamental that people can't even address it. Like, it's the ease. It's going to a fucking Walmart and getting a gun that's leading to gun violence. It's not just the fact that bad guys have them. Like, oh god. That freaking chalice he threw bounced into my head and slowed me down enough in my roll. It's the ease of access, dude. It's I'm sorry to disagree so strongly on this, but like, I don't think that we should just keep having people die every day because, you know, individuals want to have access to guns. It's not the world's best safety system. It's the world's best murder system. Like, it really just is. Like, people will have this argument. They'll be like, well, here's an example of someone dying to non-gun related violence, and then I say, like, well, then why don't you use that as your security system if it's so effective? Like, it's the desire to have a gun that people want. Like, it's the desire to have a press button kill machine that people want. Like, if your personal safety is threatened by people without guns, then there's something more effective. That the argument has so many holes. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. They'll say there's violence from other things that cause it. But then why do you need that violent thing as a security system? Might actually need the freaking... might actually need the benefit from that. I don't know what a MAGA chud. I thought it said Magna chud. I'm not saying that you're supporting... This is not about Trump. This is about gun ownership in general. I don't think that personal gun ownership is oh my god, is something that's saving more people than it's harming. I think it's saving far fewer people than it's harming. Like, so far fewer. I support I'm gonna say something that's gonna sound contradictory. Sorry, I'm sorry that, you know, this is such a politicized thing, but it's not about politics. It's about human safety. If you're you know, a complete socialist and think that individual gun ownership is still an inherent right that everyone should have access to, I'm gonna still 100% disagree with it. And I'm sorry. I love you, Ninja. I really do. I hope you have a great day. It's something I can't. I support, like, the ownership of... it didn't give me two. I support the... Oh, shit. I shouldn't have bought that key. I forgot about this. Do I have any curse? Yes. Wow, this sucks. This is like the worst. Daruma's pretty good. Oh, you guys are talking about Overwatch. Yeah, I don't know. My feelings about gun ownership are probably not going to change. It was Moses who lost a friend recently, right after he just got his carry permit. And, like, Moses means a fucking ton to me. He is... Since I moved out here, I haven't made a lot of very close friends. Ah, you sack of shit. Active item, huh? And hearing that happened to him was pretty devastating to me. And I hate hearing something like that, and then everyone goes like, I still want to hold a gun because I'm going to be different. Why did I destroy that one? That's the one I wanted to keep. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm never going to see eye to eye on that subject with a lot of people, and maybe that's unfair. Maybe I'm being a little bit too stuck on my ways. But it's like, so when I was in high school, my last two years of high school were at a public high school, right? And at this high school, not a public, but a residential high school. We lived there. It was kind of like a pre-college kind of dorm situation. We had this strong rule about no hot pots. Hey Fog, how's it going? No hot pots in the dorms because hot pots lead to fires, right? Hot pots lead to fires because it's just a it's a stovetop that you plug in and set on the floor, basically. And everyone had a hot pot. Or not a hot pot, a hot plate. Whatever they're called. And everyone thought, well, it's the fucking idiots that don't know how to use it that are making a problem for all of us. It's crazy. They should just, you know, make sure that you know how to use your hot pot. I'm kind of being facetious here because they didn't have a classroom. They just took your hot plate if you had one. So everyone still had one. And then at the end of the year, there were tons of room with scorch marks. There were scorch marks on the... Stop! On the carpet. There were 3 fires that year, all late at night, all in dorm rooms where people had hot plates. And every single one of them was someone who told me earlier that they weren't going to have a problem with it. Like, it doesn't matter how intensely you think you focus on something, how certain you think you are of your ability. Statistics say that, like, fucking, like, I've never gotten in a car accident that I've caused. It doesn't mean I never will. I think I'm a pretty good driver, but it takes a fucking second for something to go wrong. It's so goddamn obvious that, like, having a death button in your fucking house is just gonna result in a death. I don't get it. I don't know. Yeah, sorry. I don't know. The Hong Kong situation led me to talking about gun ownership again. And I think I pissed off Ninja. I might lose SSD Ninja as a fan because, you know, he stands on a different side of the subject. I hope I don't, because it's not like my defining characteristic. But, and I like having people that have different points of view around, because it makes me really think about why I feel a certain way about something, instead of just, you know, two people with the same opinion patting each other on the back. Well, he did leave pretty abruptly in the middle. So that's kind of what's making me feel that may be the case. But maybe I'm a little bit too opinionated about this stuff. I know that it's not. I'm not like an entertainer, like, you know, an actual successful person in this field, but the reason that I do this stream is from an entertainment point of view. And entertainers aren't supposed to have opinions about this stuff. You know, Football Man doesn't need to weigh in about the flag. Just play football. I get it, but I don't agree with it. So I'm gonna remain opinionated on this stuff, especially when it comes to lives lost. And I hope he remains opinionated about it too. I hope he addresses every single time. Is there something on my screen? There's something on my fucking screen. I hope he looks at it critically every time he thinks about it. Like, live football man, no stand-up. It's so funny, those same people who will say that shit are the world's biggest fans of Charlton Heston supporting the NRA. Like, just do your fucking job doesn't apply when it's, you know, in favor of them. People are just fundamentally hypocritical. It's just who we are. And we're fundamentally selfish, and we're fundamentally short-sighted, etc., etc. I know I'm really, like, I'm kissing my own ass every fucking day about having 2 electric vehicles in my house. Like, I'm saving the planet! Ooh, it feels good to be God. Like, like, I feel a sense of pride in my own, I don't know, what I feel like I'm doing for the benefit of everyone. Right. God, that is such an obvious counter example that I've never even thought of. That is like the counter example. Why should businessmen or TV stars be politicians anyway? They didn't go to politician school. Yeah. I mean, Matt Parker and Trey Parker and Matt Stone, man, I can never get their names right. They're pretty staunchly on the right side of things, and they think that like anybody in a Prius is just only doing it for a sense of superiority, which is insane to me. But like that sense of superiority feels so fucking good. Now, honestly, I feel like, I guess I don't care one way or the other how people feel about me having 2 electric vehicles. Electricity is cheap as balls out here. Like, hydroelectric power is nothing. We are the 4th least expensive, the 4th cheapest electricity in the nation, and the 8th most expensive gas in the nation. So even if you just want to look at it from an economic point of view, I'm still doing the right thing and having these fucking cheap ass electric cars. Like, thanks, Roddy. I do too. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it just doesn't make sense to stand against something because you don't want to, because other people might be smug about it. Think about things for their inherent reasons, not for how other people perceive their reasons or whatever. It's a lot of this shit. There, even on like, even liberals have a bad time, a pretty bad habit of doing things specifically to offend the other party. This whole freaking tribalism, this teamism needs to just fucking stop it. We got like one planet, one chance, like one country, one whatever it is that we're discussing. Stop making it a competition. Stop making it an us versus them, and start thinking about the actual like issues and the reasons behind your decision making. I don't ever do anything because it's going to like negatively impact another person, whether they're someone who I directly disagree with or not. Like, I don't, that seems like such a childish finger pointing waste of my time to be like, I'm gonna do this so that the other guys suffer. And I think people really, there are some people who do it. Big example, veganism. So everybody's met a smug vegan, right? Everybody's met a vegan who's not just a vegan because they feel that veganism is good. They've met a vegan who's a vegan because it makes them more enlightened as an individual. Right? I'm vegetarian right now. It's for diet reasons. It's for health reasons. I don't really love the cruelty to animals that comes with it, but I supported it for long enough that I don't have any fucking ground to stand on. Everybody that eats meat, go for it, dude. Like, I'm not doing it to hurt you. My point is not to say, like, look at what I can do that they can't, or to say, like, this is the way it should be. I am afraid that I am going to die an early death because of my diet. And I don't want to do that. Like, you know how fucking bad it would suck to die for something as, like, in my own control as the food that I eat? If I die, I want it to be a fucking, you know, Ebola outbreak or something. I want it to be something that there's just fuck all you can do about it. Like, if there's just some minor action I can take to extend my time on this planet, I'm just gonna fucking take it, man. Like, it's not hurting me. I feel great. It's hurting me in 0 ways to have given up meat. I don't, like, I might see a steak and be like, boy, that would be good. But then I eat something else and I'm like, boy, that was also good. Like, it's not the hardest thing in the world. And it gives me what I want, which is more planet Earth time. Blies! One fast train ticket coming up. From the Blies. Ugh, Roddy, I just watched that clip of me destroying that glitch chest. Ugh, it stung even in the past. Wow, okay, died really quick. Whoa, haha. I haven't finished it. I really should. I started watching it before that episode, or before that stream, and then haven't hit it back up. Dude, there should be an item that lets you go back and change a mistake you made on a previous run. I still think I would have lost that fight. I think, like I said at the time, I think I made the decision then that I would make if I was put in that exact situation again, even if I knew it was coming. I think I would have lost that fight and I would have lost the streak. Because I just didn't have what it took, what it would have taken. Come on, antibodies. Why did I keep you around if you're just gonna never friggin' pop off? That needs to be a, like, 90% chance to double. Ooh, Morningstar is a synergy? No. Yes, that's true. It would have been... Because by the end of that floor, I felt ready for it. But, I definitely didn't feel ready until the very end. Okay, that's not gonna work. We're gonna use this. Yeah, if I could have just not gone into that chest room until everything else was done, then I would have totally done that glitch chest. But... Or if it just didn't have a fucking fuse, if I had a water gun, there's so many ways that could have turned into a different situation. But if I knew it was coming and couldn't avoid that room because it was on the way to the boss or something like that, then yeah, I would have done it the exact same way. As shitty as that is. Ooh, flaky bees for me. Ooh, flaky bees. Should have gone the other way. That would have been smart. Alright, secret room's probably going to be up in here, up in here. Yes. We don't need more than 300 casings. We're still going to get casings from the floor. Roddy and Kyle, what are you guys up to today? You still playing Overwatch? Still doing season... Was it season 5? Season 6? God, I haven't paid attention to Overwatch in a long time. What competitive season is it? It's probably like 12 or something. Dicey Dungeons looks cool. It looks like Slay the Spire with dice. And the aesthetic is dope. I'm just gonna say they nailed that shit straight all the way on the head. I actually watched a clip of you playing it. I don't fully understand what was happening, but I think I understood enough to get a basic gist. You get to apply the dice to different stats, which I think is a great way to turn that RNG on its head, or to make the RNG less random. The application of the rolls is a super cool idea. I feel like that's a Switch game I'd get, though. I don't feel like that's if I got it on PC, I wouldn't be able to play it. So let me know if you hear that it's coming out on... if they're working on it for the Switch or anything. If I get it on PC, I'm never going to play it. Like, I just know myself. I literally would never turn that game on if it was on PC. Or I'd turn it on once and then it'd be like, I don't know. I want something that I can take on the road with me. Something I can play a little bit of during my break. Oh, Roddy, did you try out those other stages that I made? You give them all a go? Not yeet? Not yeet! I want someone else to make some stages. I don't like using the level finder or whatever. I want to only play... Did that fucking anvil just block my shot? I want to only play friend-based levels. Now those are the hardest kinds to find. Alright, let's see about this. I really think the initial hit with the Morningstar does the most damage. Like, to such a degree that it's better to actually drop it and then bring it back. But maybe not. Maybe it's better to just continually have damage going. Even if it's not ideal damage. The charge up time is the only thing that makes it a maybe. It feels like if you don't get a... Oh god! If you don't get a second charge up perfect, you actually lose a bit of... Fuck! Come on. Yeah, DPS cap fucked me on that one. Ooh, boy. I am having a hard time with these rolls. There we go. Alright, got my swing back. I think I'm waiting a little too late. Oh, I'll find the clip in a second. I got a fused glitch chest 2 runs ago. And I wasn't in a situation where I felt comfortable fighting the glitch boss. So I shot it. I destroyed it. And I felt really, really heartbroken about it afterwards. But you know, my thinking, I've been spending a lot of time convincing myself that that's exactly what I would have done under any circumstance. Because that's the only way to accept someone who's played the game as much as I have chickening out of a freaking glitch boss fight. Oh my god, please. I just didn't have any boss weapons, but by the end of the floor I had a good number of boss weapons, so it's one of those, if I hadn't gotten the chest... Yeah. If I hadn't gotten the chest, then, if I'd gotten the chest last, or if I hadn't gotten in that room until the end, I would have been in a fucking very, very good condition to take out the glitch bosses, but... when I got it, I wasn't ready for it. And yeah, I don't want to end this streak because I made a rash decision. I want to end this streak because I had a terrible losing run where I played like garbage for a long time. Like I was talking about with eating more healthy, if I'm going to go out, I want it to be something unavoidable. I don't want it to be something that is just... it was my own stupidity or laziness that led me to it. But who knows when we'll see the next glitch chest. Have you done that? Oh my god. The only time I've ever used cigarettes down to that low of health is when I had health incoming before I left the room. Or before I left the floor. Oh god. See, that's totally the kind of thing I was doing if I would do if I wasn't streaking. Once the streak is done, I might de-streak for a bit. I don't know how I feel about this item right now. Oh, we got a lead gun, by the way. Let's see if I can buy some blanks. Or ammo lit or something. If not, I'm probably gonna drop it. This is a fucking harsh room, dude. This room is, like, mind flooding to the max. I mean, I honestly might. I might de-streak and just start having a blast with runs again. And I don't honestly feel like there's anything wrong with that. I feel like a year and a half of streak chasing. Yeah, but I still want to send this one off in the right way. I want to give this one everything I can, and then... Nope. Well, I mean, I want to pass my record, and then after that, I don't care. But I'm not trying to get, like, I'm not trying to get a specific record or anything like that. It's just, like, I want this current streak to go as far as it can, and then I'll stop. I'll stop when I lose it at the end of the streak. My goal was to hit 100 with this streak, and then if I made it back into the triple digits and lost, then I'd just call it. I'd say streaking over. Or if I do a streak, it's going to be a new kind of streak, you know? It might be a recklessness streak, it might be a turbo streak, or it might be like... I might do modded characters in a streak. or modded characters, including do a full all-character streak. With, you know, Fox's character, the robot, the gunslinger, my character, the weird gun knight undead character that other person made. Just have as many as I can. And, like, not really care about the number. Just do that as a way to keep things moving. Come on, dude. They are like experts at circling around those things. The man from Kazakhstan. Don't need keys anymore, but thank you anyway. Anyway. I'm gonna be using my Daruma. Did I buy Chaos Bullets? I totally did! Forgot about that. But yeah, whatever happens after this streak is going to be modded. Until the mods start crashing the game too frequently. What's up, baby? For what? What? Indala Crab? Oh. I don't like that word. I don't care if that's their name. I fucking hate that. I'm sorry. Yes, I hate that. Huh? I don't care.
The champagne glass in his butt crack and champagne.
God, I remember. Dang it, that's one of my blanks.
Hi, baby. But I think I'm gonna pick one of my girlfriends.
Okay.
I
hate his name. His name is god awful. Imagine I just called somebody that. You know how fucking terrible that would be?
Call him that.
I feel uncomfortable with even saying that. That's like if someone named themselves Inward James or whatever. I wouldn't call him that. Just call him James.
Hey, my name's Inward James.
Would you call a person with that name by their name? Exactly. That's how I feel about F-word Randy. That's fucked up, guys. I did not say L word.
Well, it's spelled differently. You're supposed to say his name.
I don't care. Like, do you not understand how, like, I feel like that's similar to the example that I made?
I wasn't comfortable saying it personally.
Well, I'm glad you got comfortable with it. I still don't feel like I would call that performer by their performance name. For exactly the reason that I brought up. Oh my god, you guys are too fast! How come it seems like I still have so much here? Are you like breathing down in my face, in my ears?
I'm not even breathing.
It's not true. I can feel it and hear it now.
Burps.
Who
Why are you
burps?
so mad?
Are sixes bad? Seems like they're big numbers.
Dude, you're so stupid. I was supposed to look this morning.
Ha 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 ha.
Probably I'll pick Ashley, right?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, that's great, baby. Oh, I lost all my blanks already.
Piano? Have Monty, what about you? We can go see F. Randy together.
Now you feel uncomfortable saying it?
Well, now I feel, yeah. Did I say it?
Yeah, you don't need to say it on my stream. You don't need to say it on my stream. Like, No, it's not that I hate my wife. It's just like I don't want freaking slur speech on my stream because it can get my stream canceled. Like, I've had people who join my stream with names that make it sound like if you pronounce the name the way it's supposed to be pronounced, it sounds like the N-word because they want to then ban you. Like, it's like a big troll that people do. They make you say the N-word, and then they go, this guy's using hate speech, so you'll get either a temporary or permanent ban from Twitch. Final boss. Does it have, like, levels? It's just battle after battle, right? In the same style as Slay the Spire. One battle follows another. But it's still got that chance element between each one. Oh, can you actually pick different paths? Neat. It's got like an overworld. But it is just battle after battle. It's not, you're not going to get a platforming stage, right? Like, the original idea for Cuphead was just a boss rush connected by an overworld, and then they added those platforming stages. Oh, cool. Yeah. Wow, this was a fast bullet hell. Holy shit. Boy. Is it going to be useful to use the Morningstar? Where the fuck is the Morningstar? I liked him okay. I didn't get super far in Cuphead, though. Yeah, okay, it's better to just leave it on. Especially if you can't see the enemy. And especially if he's staying still. Oh, thanks for the key. I needed 13 of those. You fucking idiot. I didn't need 13 of those. Don't you get sarcasm, stupid? Gotcha. You've just been roasted by the Roast Master General. Roast Rufus Roaster. The roastiest. Isn't a roasty what you call, like, a woman if you're an incel? So let's start doing it, guys. Let's start doing it. Incels are cool. Mom, I'm gonna be an incel when I grow up. If you choose to be an incel, are you an actual incel? Since the word involves the involuntary aspect of it. Yes, Rufio is the Mohawk kid that everybody chants the name of. Whoop. People back in my Final Fantasy 11 days used to call me Rufio whenever I did something cool as heck. Cool as freaking heck, man. Oh, God damn it. This is the worst dodge of all time. I was like thrown off by, that's how I've been dodging this entire run. Just like, hey, here's a good time to dodge. Why don't I go like a full half second before him? A full half second. And just get hit instead. I've been doing that since floor 1. Well, that's 666. That's my 666th run. We're gonna hit 700 as soon as fuck. I don't own that game, and I'm not going to buy it right now. If it's out on the Switch, perhaps. It's not out on the Switch. Perhaps not.